purging is at last at hand. The day of doom is here. All that is evil, all that are lies, your parents, your ears, those who would call themselves your judges, those who have lied and corrupted the earth, they shall all be cleansed.
Alright. Sir Kenneth should be showing up any moment now. My lovely, lovely Eurabiamania co-host, and we will go from there. But yeah, no, as I was saying, we're going to have a spaces with Sir Cleveland. Unfortunately, I think he had some personal issues or what have you, or whatnot. I mean, Sir Cleveland's super busy, so fair enough. Real life happens. What can you do, right? So, podcasting is more like a thing we do. What should we call it? Oh, there we go. There we go. Sir Kenneth is here. Excellent. Manage spaces. Invite co-host. Sir Kenneth. Send invite. Accept the invite, Sir Kenneth. Please and thank you. And good day, Sir Kenneth. Hearing you loud and clear. We have Axmed. Good Sir Axmed show up. I'll turn him into a speaker.
Welcome, Axmed. Good to have you again.
I'll turn him into a speaker. There we go. But no, Sir Kenneth, I think we'll start off with what happened in Denmark near the Copenhagen airport and also in Oslo. And I think the police, Danish police, just flat out said, Copenhagen police rather, they flat out said, yeah, these are not hobbyist drones. These seem to be drones from a state actor, right? And now they're just flat out saying that, yeah, we seem to know what the state actor is, right? So let me just quickly read this. This is a telegram. And it's a relevant telegram. And it'll kind of give all the dear listeners who are gonna listen on Substack and I guess also on Twitter right now on what the stakes are with regard to what's going on here. Alright, so let me just quickly find the telegram. Okay. This is Middle East Spectator MES. This was about 6 hours ago. Okay. Breaking. Danish Channel 2 reports that 3 Russian-flagged and Russian-linked ships are suspected. Okay, so they don't have evidence, so that's why they're using that word. Suspected of launching the drones towards Copenhagen airport. The sanctioned Russian cargo ship Astral 1 sailed through the Øresund Strait on Monday and made several irregular maneuvers. The tanker Pushpo, sailing under the flag of Benin and sanctioned for transporting Russian oil, was monitored for 4 hours by a German NATO vessel and its movements considered suspicious. The Norwegian cargo ship Oslo Carrier 3 was 7 kilometers from Copenhagen airport while the drones were in the air. The ship has a Russian crew and the owner has offices in Kaliningrad. Sir Kenneth, what the fuck's going on here?
Well, I would guess what's going on here is, to put it in the most simple terms, Russia has realized it can get away with it.
Oh, yeah.
Russia has realized, okay, we can fly drones in American airspace. Nobody is going to do anything about it.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? Is NATO going to come to the rescue? Like, the Latvians are going to step in and teach you a thing or two. I mean, what you're looking at here is a case of the cat is away and the Russians are playing. To mix a metaphor, I see Axmed has his hand up.
You don't need to raise your hand, Sir Axmed. Just like I turned you speaker, just we are among friends here. Just speak if you want to speak. Go on right ahead.
There's still a level of politeness to this, but I just wanted to add this: the Europeans are dogs. The Europeans are the greatest of dogs to have ever walked on this planet. I have never seen.
Exactly. Did you see the Truth Social post Trump made about how Ukraine will win as soon as America and the EU? Bro, like that's fucking Joe Biden bullshit. Right? Like,
no. Who cares what Trump? Who cares what anything that golden dog has to say on anything? All right. Let's think of it like this. The Europeans, these niggas have been spat on, shat on, dog walked the entire year. The Trump man, Mr. Trump even told Zelensky to his face, you're starting World War III, you're doing this, you're doing that, you have to sanction China, you have to sanction India, and whatnot. And the moment he gives them just a little bit of affection, a little bit of their approval. The Polish, there was a tweet around here somewhere. Radoslaw Sikorski, foreign minister of Poland, he says, Roger that. I mean, these niggas have no shame. I have met prison rape victims that have more dignity than these whores.
But don't hold back. Tell us how you really feel. I generally prefer Zoom Spaces to Twitter Spaces, but Twitter Spaces, you could just get some great conversations going. So
Yes,
I must
sir.
give credit where credit's due. Sir Alamo is here. Hello again, sir. Welcome back.
Hello, Sir Lama. I'll turn you into a speaker as well. Why the fuck not?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
we're at the end of Empire stage. We're probably a few years, if not several months away. Just fuck it. I'll turn him into a speaker. We're all gonna enjoy ourselves. We're all gonna enjoy ourselves.
What I just saw Anoff sent me a link to a government report that was explaining that today, I think our supply of 155 millimeter shells, the
Yeah.
number of shells we make in a year is about, I'm blanking here, it was either what Ukraine uses in a day or Ukraine uses in a week. But in either event, it doesn't matter. What it basically is, a year's supply of our stuff will last somewhere between 1 and 7 days in the war.
Yes,
And
sir.
we certainly aren't matching the amount of ammo Russia's making.
Yeah, I mean, like, the name of the report, if you want to know, and I put it in the chat. This is War and the Modern Battlefield, Insights from Ukraine and the Middle East. This is by CSIS. CSIS is a government outfit, so it's not like, oh, an evil Russian propaganda outlet, or like, oh, the Chinese or the fucking Muslims wrote this. No, man, it's Americans who wrote this. They work for the fucking government, all right? They wrote this report, right? Now, it's a collection of essays, different people and subject matter experts and what have you weigh in. There's a few, like, weirdos in there. There's like one or two essays. They're like, oh, AI and robots are, future battlefield, blah, blah, blah. America will innovate, and here's how we can get back in the game, and, that bullshit. Whatever, man. Like, every now and then when you read American, junk, you kind of like, whatever. It's just like part and parcel of the thing. But the reason the report, and it's 218 pages, you don't have to read the whole fucking thing. You can read whatever essay you want. But, like, the thing about the report is even though it's written by the government, most of the essays, right, the majority of them are negative, right? They're just flat out saying in, like, 5,000 words or 10,000 words, my fellow Americans, we are fucked.
Nah.
Yeah, you can read it, man. You can read it.
I'm reading it. I'm reading the
Yeah.
first paragraph. I'm checking it out.
There's like 2 or 3 essays in there that are like optimistic in their undertone, but like, bro, most of them are just like, they've given up, man. Like, you can literally read the words and you can imagine the nigga in, like, the computer room or whatever the fuck, and you can just imagine their face. They've completely surrendered to what's about to happen. It's like, so, like, just to give you one example. Okay, hang on a second. Which one was my favorite one? I read a few of these fucking things. Adversaries and the future of competition, will, cohesion, resilience, war in the future, returning to an era of competition and nuclear risk, blah, blah, blah. Okay, operational arms.
Nuclear risk.
Yeah, nuclear risk. You should read that essay. That's hilarious. Okay, extending the battle space to space, technological evolution of the battlefield. Okay, long story short, most of these people are negative. They're just like, they tell you, here's why America's fucked, right? Some of them, like, what they do is, they spend several thousand words telling you why America is fucked and America is gonna get absolutely sodomized, right? They spend thousands of words explaining that, but then when they get to the last 500 to 1,000 words, it's like that, like, what did Sir Malcolm say? Sir Malcolm's like, it's like that Nintendo Game Boy cartridge that, like, resets, and the memory resets, and it starts spasming, and then they're like, oh shit, what did I just do for the last several minutes? And so, like, okay, for several thousand words, the guy keeps on saying, America's fucked, America's about to be raped, America's about to be violently sodomized, and then they do it for several thousand words, and then at the very end, for the last few hundred words, they're like, oh, but don't worry, guys, America will innovate, we'll figure something out, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Ahmed, what have you? Please share your words with us.
I
Good
mean,
thoughts, man. Yeah, go ahead.
it's like there was this. Are you familiar with the New York Times writer something Friedman, Michael Friedman or whatever his
Yeah,
name
Man
I
is?
heard
named
about him.
Friedman writing for the New York Times. Let me
Yes,
see.
yes. And like when during the Gaza genocide, and what he used to do was, as it became more and more apparent of Israeli atrocities, he still somehow always tied it back to Hamas somehow, some way somehow. Like let's say for example when they found a new way to brutalize infant babies in the Gaza Strip, and he would say something like, but all of this could end if Hamas just lay down the weapons. Like this is what these articles are giving me the same vibe. It's like, yeah, the Chinese, they have their new Navy carriers. They have their new weapons. The Russians are making grounds in eastern Ukraine. But somehow, some way, through absolute American niggatry, we're gonna win this shit.
Yeah,
We're gonna be Michael
we are
Jordan
the
in
we're the
Game
protagonist of the
6.
story. Exactly, we're the
Yes.
protagonist of the story. The protagonist always wins. The U catastrophe is about to happen, right? You know, like the Eagles are gonna come, the ring's gonna be dropped in the thing, and we're gonna win. And like, that's all they got
Yeah.
left, man.
Yeah.
That's all they got left. Like all the other arguments fail because again, the numbers fail, the quality aspect fails because again, nobody in America has the actual like, you know, well, we want to fight a fucking war in Venezuela where like there's 3 times as many jungles as Vietnam. Like the quality aspect fails, the quantity aspect fails. The fucking like country's about to go bankrupt and broke, right? You've got civil strife. You know, like we can talk about the Charlie Kirk thing, but like my prediction always was that there was gonna be a very brutal public assassination, but it would be of like a senator or a congressman, something like that, right? The fact that it happened to a fucking influencer and podcaster, man, like holy shit, I thoroughly underestimated how fucked America is. Because
Well,
again, like Sir Kenas, you said it best. Like you said it on one of our previous shows. Like the guy is like a fucking like moderate Republican Christian Zionist or whatever the fuck, right? And he got his like, you know, neck cut or whatever, right?
well, the whole thing is more people in America are likely to know who Charlie Kirk is than who their state senator is.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, it's like influencers today. Shooting an influencer is to all the people who get their news. Like people used to complain, people get their news from the internet. People now get their news from TikTok.
Yes, sir.
People now get their news from YouTube.
Allah hadi.
Oh yeah.
No, continue.
No, and you've got like so, and I think the thing that really blew people's minds with Charlie Kirk was, okay, this milk toast, young Jeb Bush, moderate Republican, is getting you so riled up that you think he deserves death and you're going to line up to piss on his grave.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you really genuinely hate us.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew it before, but it's like, okay, you don't just hate us. I mean, okay, I understand people might get a look at some of the memes I've shared in the past and think, okay, maybe this guy has some unsavory political beliefs. I could accept that. Charlie Cook was the most moderate Republican you could possibly imagine. It's like, and if Charlie Kirk can get shot, that means to everybody on the right, it's like, okay, if Charlie Kirk's not safe, I'm not safe.
Oh yeah.
And nothing brings people together like a feeling of I'm not safe. Not the I'm not safe in the way a lot of people posture on the internet, but okay, is somebody going to shoot me over something I said on the internet?
Yeah. Gentlemen,
Yeah.
I found
But
the perfect Sir Kenaz, you love to make the episode headers, right? Here's the episode header for you. Give me a second. I got it. Hang on a second. Continue, gentlemen. I'm gonna try and save this image.
it was probably said before me, but with the whatchamacallit, the so-called funeral, the memorial they had over the weekend about his demise, and I mean, it can really be said that he was worth more dead to the movement
Yeah.
than he was ever alive.
Yeah, shameless
Because
self-promotion. Yeah, exactly. Shameless self-promotion. I wrote an entire essay on that for Multipolar Press.
because
That's basically what it's.
because I remember like the first hour when I checked Twitter for a while, and I saw the video of him getting trick shot, and I had some, I had some Kenyan, Ugandan, and Somali friends. I was the first one to break the news, and they said, "What are you talking about? We don't know who's this Charlie Kirk guy, all right? They don't know who Charlie Kirk is, but like, who's this American? Who's this white boy?" And then when they found out who he was and that he was a Republican, I have never like you talked about hating someone, like that was some genuine hating. When they found out he was talking shit about their countries, like they genuinely were just like dancing and singing praises of his demise.
Oh yeah.
So like that's for example, but it's another thing when I think about it is the moment that they found out this guy had any connection to the MAGA movement at large, that's when it started to that's when I meant when I said that that he's more worth dead more than alive, because when he was alive he was just a regular conservative Republican talking shit and defending Donald Trump, right? But when he's dead, he's a martyr. He is the new saint. He is like Saint Paul, Saint George of the early days of Christianity.
Yeah. Yeah, he's basically being deified right now. I mean, like, when the assassination happened, the right wing were like, we're gonna do things to you that have never been done before. You know, what's gonna happen now? The storm is coming or whatever. Like, and 12 days, 13 days later, nothing has happened. I mean, these guys, man, they should shut the fuck up, right? If they're harmless, if they're gonna emigrate as soon as the grenades are lobbed or like the shooting starts, they should shut the fuck up, right? And they should not make empty idle threats, right? But that's just my 2 cents. I mean, Sir Ken, as I sent you the image, you can probably use for the episode header. But like, that's what this is. It's like he got martyred, and Sir Axman absolutely correct. He's better, more valuable dead than alive, and that's what happened to his death. His martyrdom, his death, whatever you want to call it, was used for value, right? And now it's being milked for all that it's worth. And look, people are gonna get upset and offended for me saying this, but like a month from now, people will move on to something else. They'll forget about this, all the threats they made about, that poor Ukrainian woman who was stabbed by that evil nigger on the subway, and like, Charlie Kirk, who's like brutally murdered by an evil like leftist. By the way, they have no evidence that he has like those tendencies. But anyhow, like, they'll move on to the next thing, man. Like, the reason I'm calling this episode "America is Fucked" Part 1 is because we are already seeing the collapse happen right in front of us, right? It's just that people are a bit, you know, they're a bit grandiose in their expectations. They're like, oh, where's the 1860s style Civil War? Or, oh, enough. Where's the giant like nuclear? No, man. America is gonna get a nice, slow, painful, and that's the word, painful euthanasia. And we're seeing the euthanasia happen right now, right? It's like all these different, like, meaningless deaths, all of these, like, martyrdoms, all of these, like, people talking about stuff and, like, trying to make martyrs out of people in this way or that way. And, like, it's gonna be more and more of this bullshit, basically, right? So that's what it is. I mean, Sir Kenas, how's the header image that I sent you?
That's the perfect image. You are correct. It is the perfect image.
Oh dear. I also shared it
I
in the
think
chat, so there you go.
Oh, it's a
what
dildo. Oh my god. It's a dildo. Oh my
Dildo
day.
for
well
all
they
I thought it
the
always
was a
say
dildo for
the
all the
shoe.
MAGA
dildo of
bros.
consequences rarely the dildo of consequences rarely arrives lubed. That's like a favorite statement to all the Charlie Kirk haters, and
Yeah.
it's like you have created, I think what's, going on here is we're not yet looking at a civil disorder, but you know, what has been jumping out at me for a while now is I've never, in my 60 years, I have never seen America so ready on every side of the political spectrum to turn power over to a strong man.
Oh yeah.
They want, that's what people want. And that's, America is America as we understood it, which is not necessarily to say America as it was, is dead once the Roman Republic becomes the Roman Empire.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. That's correct. It's also dead when like father shoots the son, neighbor against neighbor, friend against friend. That's what the Civil War people want, by the way, Sir Kenneth. Like when they advocate for this stuff, that's what they're advocating for. They're not advocating for Team Red versus Team Blue or like, oh, Spanish Civil War, Republicans versus like, these anarchists or whatever. No, man, like what you're advocating
the whole
for.
thing with what you're going to get if you get the Spanish Civil War is like, on a loose level, there was the Republican side and there was the anarchist, socialist, communist side. Each of those sides wound up shooting at and squabbling with other squads who were supposedly within their movement. I mean, you don't want that kind of disaster.
Yeah.
It's not, Americans have a problem. Because about 60 years ago at this point, we had a civil war where people in blue uniforms fought against people with green uniforms. Anybody here who's not American may have noticed that Americans tend to rely on a small supply of cliches to understand everything. In our case, it is the Civil War. It's going to be like the white folks are going to be together. Your uniform is your skin. And it's like, no, it's going to be a bunch of squabbling people fighting with each other.
Neighbor versus neighbor, father versus son, fighting your relatives, fighting your best friends. That's what it is. That it's not gonna be this clear cut. Oh my gosh! If I just fire at all the people wearing the red uniform, I'm gonna fucking win. That's not what's gonna happen. Oh, Sir Alamo, you've got your hand raised up. Go ahead.
Hi guys, good night.
Hello, Alamo. How are you?
Hello,
Hello.
I'm fine, thanks. I was thinking maybe it's a shame Sir Aspen is not here, but maybe the American situation goes down like in a Latin American way, right? Like instead of a huge civil war which we had, but in like the 19th century, the last few century of decadence has just been like the central state losing more and more power and just having like controlling central zones and like customs and whatnot. And but the inside of the country is just they don't have real sovereignty there. So like in Mexico, Venezuela is like that, Colombia a little bit so,
Good
maybe
sir.
even Brazil,
Good sir.
So,
Good sir. You are demeaning the good name of Brazil and Mexico and Colombia and Venezuela when you compare them to the great state in America. The Amerimut is worse than that, right? Because the Amerimut is the goy. He's the good goyim cattle. And not only that, he doesn't even like, there's people who don't know it, but then there's people who know it, right? And these are like the right wing people, whatever the fuck they call themselves these days, the dissident right New York, whatever the fuck they call themselves, right? Their whole aim in life is to be like, yeah, man, we're based and we're traditional and we're red pilled and blah, 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 blah. And then several years later, not even several years, sometimes months later, weeks later, even days later, they're just like, yeah, you know what? Here's why being the good cattle and goy to the Jews is great. right?
Yeah,
Here's
you
why.
know,
Here's why
when you say
Palantir. Here's why
when you
Palantir digital surveillance is amazing. So like you are disparaging the good name of the people of Venezuela, of Colombia, of Brazil, of Mexico, etc., etc., etc. When you compare them with these guys.
no, yeah, big respect for my bros in in Mexico. Todo bien. But no, yeah, I mean just that sort of decadence. But shit, you said something about the what was it? Being cattle and wanting to do the war. Well, I don't know, man. I'm sorry, not a great insight, but just I don't know. I think it might as well go that way since yeah, there's a lot of you said traditional, right?
They
So
call themselves that. Yeah, they say
yeah,
we're
yeah,
pro-traditional.
I know they do,
Yeah.
but what the fuck? Like, how can I cannot imagine like a traditional American or like that, like a waspy with a good relation with the Jews, with like I
They
don't know
they
a
they
house in
they
the Hamptons,
Good sir,
or
good
something
sir,
like
good
that.
sir.
But
Good sir.
I
That
don't
that
know what
that
it.
funeral. Okay, good sir. Like these people call themselves traditional. In that fucking funeral, they have fireworks. And again,
Oh yeah,
okay.
I
So
saw this thing.
here's the
I
deal.
s-
Here's the
the-
deal. Here's the
yeah.
deal. Okay. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. Okay, I'm speaking to you from the fucking sandbox. Okay, I got a bunch of bros. I got a bunch of boys. Right? They're my bros. They're my homies. They're my boys. All right.
Good for them.
Many of them don't even speak English. Okay, they speak Arabic. All right. Some of them know a few words of French because they're from like North Africa or whatever, and you gotta do some
C'est pas mal.
interpretation and yeah. So you gotta do
Yeah.
some interpretation. Okay, these guys. Okay, they looked at a few clips from the funeral, and they all asked me the same question. They're like, "Why the fuck are there fireworks at a funeral? This is a fucking funeral, man. This is a fucking funeral." Yeah,
Yeah, it is. It's
yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
And the
they
guy
don't
with
speak
the cross
a
with the
single
wheels.
bro. They don't speak a single word of English, and they could figure this shit out, right? That's how enslaved the Americans are, man.
Yeah,
Holy
you're
shit!
right.
Oh my
Well,
god!
But
it
then
reminded me of a
again,
black funeral.
Yeah,
It
you got
reminded me of a black funeral.
yeah.
exactly, and it's the same as a Latino funeral. So I'm not so off the mark here. You know,
Yes. If you've
it's
ever been to it, I don't
yeah.
know how your guys' funeral goes, but like on Monday the guy dies. On Thursday he gets buried. On Sunday he gets the memorial, and the week after it's the party time.
Look, look here. It's something like the day the guy goes to the cemetery, like the whole city is paralyzed, and because there's like a huge caravan, 10 blocks, a 10 block caravan with women showing their tits out the window. I mean, this is a big player I'm talking about. If I die, I'm a middle class guy. There will be like my mom and my sister there to mourn me.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Otherwise, yeah. I mean, funeral is actually a massive party. So yeah, with
Yeah.
fireworks, with a lot of fireworks. So
Backyard chicken
actually,
boy. Yeah. Backyard chicken boy. Backyard chicken boy is a listener. I'm gonna turn him into a speaker. But like,
okay.
backyard chicken boy, he just like, okay, so he looked at Trump calls Russia a paper tiger and says that with EU help, Ukraine can take back all its territory. And he just like quotes it and he just says, absolutely delusional take, full stop. We are doomed.
Yeah, I'd say we're doomed to a death by 1,000 stupidities.
There we go. Sir Alama, go ahead.
Oh, go on. That's all. I mean, that's what
Oh, fair
what
enough, fair enough.
I
Okay,
mean, what you say is Goyim American funeral is actually just a Latino funeral with like a red and black theme, which is not so common. But okay, let's let
oh,
Americans their
oh man.
own, But basically, it's Latino, baby, Latino.
I mean, Trump's like what in fucking what's the name of that place? Trump's
Miami,
Mar-a-Lago
man.
is in Florida. Yeah, so
Yeah, I
he's
mean,
like a bastardized Latino now.
absolutely, yeah, exactly.
Oh
That's
dear, man. Oh dear. It's just so funny watching this. Backyard chicken. Yeah. It's crazy, man. So, backyard chicken boy, you are speaker. What would you like to say, good sir?
Yeah. I think Trump, knows that we can't beat Russia. It's just extending and pretending and just keeping the appearances of being a military power up so we can continue, continue the facade of being the top dog, which we're not at this point.
Nope.
Um,
Nope.
yeah, and I think a lot of Americans, we're just so used to like living high off the world's poor.
Yeah.
And the idea of losing that
Yeah.
is like horrifying. And if you say something as an American, like, hey, we should produce stuff here again, like really stop working our desk jobs and work in factories and stuff like that, they call that third worldism.
Yes.
So yeah. And so I've been called that a number of times. I didn't know what that meant. But that's what that means. It's like you don't support continuing the racket. So
well, that's the thing, though. Exactly. And like, thank you for bringing that up. If you ask the following question, right, and they've done multiple surveys about this, right, and they always get the same result. So the question they ask is, I agree with the following statement. Quote, America should have more manufacturing jobs and industries inside the continental United States. 80% of Americans say yes. Okay. Now they ask the second question. Okay. Quote, my own life and my own economic well-being would increase if I do these manufacturing jobs. What do you think the percentage is, good sir, who agree with that statement?
I think I saw this poll. I think it was 15 to 20%.
You got it. Bang on the money. 15 to 20%. So, like, it's not going to happen, man. I mean, it's just like, obviously I would be a person who makes the argument that it's physically impossible. But, like, even if you are not someone who agrees with me and says, okay, it is physically possible to do, right? There's no will for that stuff, right? Like, nobody's interested. They want to, like, and what I tell people is this. It's like, if you have a situation where like the fucking Saudis, like, and Saudi Arabia is like a product of British intelligence, right? When the British fell apart, the Americans inherited that racket, right? The fucking Saudis are signing a mutual defense pact with Pakistan, man. I mean, it's fucking over. It's fucking over, right? Like, if the most loyal MI6 asset and poodle can't be kept on its leash, man, like, America's fucked. Like, did that tantrum I saw Trump throw at the UN General Assembly? I saw that and I'm like, okay, wow, this is like Joe Brandon 2.0, man. I mean, this is how it's gonna be. It's gonna be like Sir Kenneth said, death via 1,000 stupidities, or in this case, I guess, death via multiple octogenarians. So,
Well, wasn't that near the end? Several of the last several Russian like Soviet presidents before Gorbachev were like essentially doddering old men.
yes, sir. That's exactly what they were.
Yeah, there was a. I'm sorry for interrupting, but during during the 80s of the Soviet Union, there was a period known as hypernormalization.
Yeah.
Pretty much everyone knew by that point that the Soviet Union was politically and geopolitically outspent. It had
everyone knew they were fucked. You
yeah,
gotta use the correct. Good sir, you gotta use the correct English words. Okay, you gotta be correct about it. They knew the Soviet Union was fucked, just like Americans now know that America is fucked.
Exactly. So, in a desperate attempt to, unfuck themselves, Gorbachev and his colleagues of unfuckable retards decided to do some democratic reforms.
Yeah.
And to put it mildly, it led to the collapse of the 20th century socialist project.
Yeah.
And then led to the American unipolar moment. And Sir Malcolm himself said it once in a podcast, in a different one, where he said that the Cold War really just was is a knife fight in an alley between the United States and the Soviet Union. And America won. The Soviet Union died on this alley. and the United States was the rush to the hospital where it now is on life support and beginning to flatline.
Yeah, yeah. I many years ago, right, when I was younger and more boisterous, I used to read a bunch of these like writers, right? And like sometimes when you read something when you're young, you're like, "Oh, bro, like you're taking it too far, man. Stop, stop. Like don't say shit like that. That's just wrong." And then you just like you come back to it 5, 10 years later. I'm like, "Holy shit. Everything that he said is correct." All right. Let me read you. This is a quote by Louis Voyot. Louis Voyot was a French journalist and author. He was like, one of these Catholic guys, and he has some interesting things to say. But like, he published this, I think, in the 1840s or 50s. I forget the exact date. Right? This is from L'Univers. Okay, so 1840s, 1850s America. That's what he's talking about, right? So about nearly 200 years have passed, but like, just keep in mind that when he was writing this, okay, quote. It is easy to see where North America stands at present and whither it is tending. Its rapid progress, due to the most degrading works, has fascinated Europe, but the results of this progress, exclusively material, already appear. Barbarism, profligacy, general bankruptcy, systematic destruction of the native races, idiotic slavery of the conquerors, bound to the most trying and repulsive of lives, under the yoke of their own machinery. America might flounder in the ocean once and for all, and the human race would suffer no loss thereby. Not a saint, not an artist, not a thinker has it produced, unless one may term sought the aptitude for twisting iron for the construction of freight trains. The priests who wear out their lives there cannot create a civilization. Thus far, there is no civilization in America, and as far as appearances go, there never will be. Ouch. Yeah,
You
he
can't
wrote
even do
that.
the material stuff anymore.
By the way,
That
all
nigga
these
was
lines,
spitting.
like every word in that paragraph is true. Just to give you one example, okay? Okay. Bound to the most trying and repulsive of lives, under the yoke of their own machinery. Smartphones. There you go. Smartphones. And not just smartphones, you've got infotainment, you've got all this other shit, right? So
Mm.
he got it
When was
right,
this
man. He
written?
got it right. This was written, I think, in the 1840s, 1850s, nearly 200 years ago.
1840s, 1850s. It reminds me of another quote when, I don't know who said it, but it was, America is the only nation state to go from barbarism to decadence without a civilization in between.
Yep, that's correct. That's basically what we're seeing, right?
What a
Especially like
unit.
when I saw that Charlie Kirk funeral, man, I'm like, holy shit! Like, what are these guys? It didn't look like a funeral, man. It looked like a fucking rock concert.
It
That's what it
was
looked
a
like,
rock
man.
concert. It was a
It's
rally.
fucking rock. And then they have like a booth. It's like, okay, register to vote. I'm like, dude, it's a guy's funeral. That's disgusting. What the fuck are you doing? Right? Like, it, the fucking Americans, man. Holy shit. I'm a fucking sandman in the desert, and I'm like, I know this shit, man. I'm like, my bros who don't speak a single word of English and they speak like Arabic and French, they know this shit, right? Hey,
Mm.
how about you don't do like voter registration at a fucking funeral? They know this shit, but apparently Americans don't. I'm like, okay.
Man, I have friends that speak either Arabic or Swahili or Somali,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
even they are looking at this like a
Did they
decay.
did they get the same
It's like,
reaction I did? Did they get the same reaction I did, which is like absolute like disgust and contempt when I
I
saw
mean,
that? Yeah.
at first it was like, you know how the coon chip is in the average Negro. Like,
Yeah,
once they see, they always try to spin a positive view on
yeah, yeah, yeah,
anything the
yeah, yeah.
United States does.
Bro, it,
But
it
even
looked like
then,
a fucking. It was a fucking rock concert. It was not a funeral, man. It was a fucking rock concert. That's like disgraceful, man. That's
and
disgraceful.
he talked
Yeah,
about tariffs. He talked about tariffs.
fucking tariffs at a funeral. Yeah, that's what he was doing, man.
Yeah. Like Sir Kenneth's backyard chicken, like chicken boy, like this is your country, my man. This is your country.
There's a huge overlap between like religion and politics here.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the Trump supporters treat Trump as like a false idol. They worship him. They
Oh yeah.
attribute
Oh yeah.
tribute prophecy to him. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, this guy is just a scammer. I mean,
Oh yeah, bro.
he's pumping, dumping bitcoins, and people are worshiping his feet. It's it's disgraceful. But yeah, that's my country, man. I was born here. I will never be anything but an American. So
He's
It is
an
what
gotta
it is,
show 'em.
man.
absolute
Guys,
embarrassment.
you
There's
know,
no
I have a comment, which is that maybe this Campi thing is just it's not like Trump's fault, you know. Like, what do you think Charlie Kirk is, and this TPUSA thing is? It's completely like distasteful in every level, like from the aesthetics of the posters to
Yeah.
yeah, it's like everything is like this. It's not
Yeah, but
like
you understand what I'm saying? Like when I saw that thing, right? And again, I'm in the fucking desert, right? Like my bros, couple of my boys don't speak English. They speak Arabic and fucking French, right? They're looking at this and they're just telling me, right? Obviously they're not speaking in English. They're telling me and I'm interpreting, but they're just telling me like this looks like WWE. That's what they
yeah,
told me, man. They told me this
it
looks like
does.
fucking WWE. It doesn't look like a fucking funeral. That's what they told me. Right? This does
Exactly, it
not look
does.
like a funeral, man.
But
Yeah.
so that's the whole like right. I mean, you have the other. I don't know, like, but that's on the internet, right? The BAP, the Bronze Age
The bop
pervert
is,
shit.
those people.
Yeah, yeah. And then there's these other guys who are just like this, man. Like, I don't know what is behind this. I think this is
The only thing they're good
a
at, the
portrait,
only
a
thing,
true portrait
yeah.
of these guys.
Oh yeah, bro. All that's true. Look, the only thing they're good at is trying to justify why getting sodomized by international Jewry is actually based and red pilled, right? Why Zionism is based in red pilled when it sodomizes America. That's the first thing
Yeah,
they're good at.
this
Okay,
is
that's
completely
number one.
bizarre, man.
Oh,
It's
bro.
completely bizarre.
That's number one. Okay, that's number one. Number one is how do I justify the sodomizing of America by Zionism, right? How do I do that in an excellent fashion? That's number one. Number two, the number two pursuit they do after they justify that is then they try to justify, oh my gosh, the Indians and the Muslims and the Browns and the blacks and the blah, 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 insert 50 categories here. They're so bad. They're raping our country. I'm like, bro, you just fucking, you know, you spent 2 hours explaining to us why Jews and Zionists sodomizing your country is amazing. And now you're gonna rant and rave about Muslims and immigrants. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, when I realized this, by the way, right? I used to think that, okay, you know what? These guys, they're kind of crazy, but they might have a point with regard to immigration and borders and blah, blah, blah. And you know what? Maybe they like their culture and whatever, and fair enough. And then I realized, actually, no, they're all just a bunch of cattle and goy and a bunch of goyim for the Jews. And once I realized that, I'm like, holy shit, this is all fucking LARP and cosplay, right? Once I realized that, I'm like, this is all fake and gay, man. It's all like, the Muslim invader and the fucking Hindu polytheist and whatever the fuck. Like, it's all fucking LARP and cosplay, man. Once I realized that, everything else clicked. Everything else clicked. Brother Naji is here. Brother Naji, America is
Brother
fucked, part
Naji.
1. What would you like to say?
Hello.
Assalamu alaikum, Naji.
Walaikum salam.
Walaikum salam.
What do I have to say? Jesus, Louises, man.
Start your rant. This is gonna be a ranty episode. Everyone has to rant a bit.
Okay. I remember on Clubhouse, my buddy Mahdi, he and maybe he'll show his face on this show at some point. Very smart Moroccan American fellow. But he did a segment thing where he would play, I think he would play piano or violin or something, and then he would match the music to the person's rant. So it was really nice. Yeah, no, there's plenty to rant about, bro. Let's see. My rant will probably be about how we're going back into a conflict with Iran. I don't know what you guys are talking about right now, but
yes, sir.
it sounds like you're talking about current domestic U.S. politics and the right coalitions and whatnot.
We are absolutely going to see it because, I've been following what's happening in the United Nations General Assembly.
Yes.
Trump met 7 or 8 Muslim leaders. They walked out in less than an hour. They did not take any questions from the press. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei, may Allah be pleased with him. He had that big rally type speech today. He just flat out said, "Yeah, we're gonna not follow anything that the IAEA says, and we're gonna enrich uranium." So like all the pieces are in place, right? Like there's going to be another like round 2. There's probably going to be like round 3, round 4, round 7 at this rate, right? So,
it seems to be escalating, right? I remember I told my buddy who was a smart fellow too. He said, I was like, bro, and this was like October of 24. And he was like, you really think that there's going to be like a full on war between the US and Iran, or like Israel and Iran? And I was like, yeah, dude. And he was like, well, what makes you think that? I was like, bro, if I told you in October 6th of 2023 that within a year Iran was going to launch 2 or 3 waves of drones and ballistic missiles towards Tel Aviv, and many of those would hit, would you have believed me?
yeah,
And he
exactly.
was like, and I was like, yeah, man, it's gonna escalate. It's gonna keep going. There's no stopping this train. So
Yeah.
no, it's coming, man. It's coming very quickly, as you noted. I think Rafael Grossi of the IEA, the head of the IAEA, said that Iran had enriched up
90%.
to
Yeah.
90%. You saw that. Okay, so
Yeah.
that is just literally just casus belli. Like they're just describing casus
Yeah.
belli, and then
No, not just Casus
Khamenei.
Belli. You also got to look at other stuff. You got to look at Egypt and Turkey doing these big naval exercises. You got to look at the Pakistan Saudi Arabia Mutual Defense Pact. You got to look at those two guys also then saying that we are going to expand this to other members as well in the near future. Everyone's preparing for war, man. Like Egypt,
Yeah,
Turkey, Saudi, Pakistan. Like the strike in Qatar, right? Qatar is a major non-NATO ally, right? The largest base, American base, Al Udeid,
yeah,
right?
airbase. Yeah,
Exactly. So the Iranians did that wave of missiles. The Americans did nothing. Then the Israelis did that hit on Hamas leadership. The Americans did nothing. The Qataris just flat out said, "Man, you're fucking irrelevant, man. You're fucking irrelevant." And so, like, Saudi Arabia, who's like a creature of MI6 intelligence, this freaking guy now signs up with Pakistan for like the nuclear shield. America has lost control, man. There is gonna be war. America cannot hold on to its vassals. America is fucked. America is fucked. Part 1, right? That's what
yeah,
we're seeing, right? Yeah.
yeah. Well, and also there's something to be said if we just want to play devil's advocate a little bit, and I always like to do that.
Yeah. Go for
That
it.
the there's 2 things happening right now in the West Bank and international opinion of the West Bank. You have massive raids by Israel into the West Bank, throughout the West Bank. Like every, twice, 3, 4 times a day, you see, they
Yeah.
raided Tubas in the north, and they raided Hebron, and they raided Nablus, and they just continue to do this, and they're building a settlement here, and they're expanding their control there. And then at the exact same time, you see this international, essentially PR push to recognize Palestine. And the Palestine they're recognizing is the Palestine of Mahmoud Abbas, who
Yeah.
has
Yeah. Yeah.
been
Yeah.
he's been an old potato
He's
since
bought and
I was a
paid for.
kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He's
bought and
bought and
paid
paid
for.
for, man.
So but no one in the this is why the Muslim world is getting very worried, right? I mean, Gaza is one thing. Egypt has its security issues with the Israelis pushing the Gazans out into the Sinai, this type of thing.
Yeah.
But the
The
West Bank
Egyptians have
is
already, the Egyptians already have like the Chinese, anti-air stuff.
anti-aircraft missiles in
Yeah,
Sinai, and they have tens of thousands of troops, and they're only adding to that.
yeah.
But the West Bank is a much more profound issue, because it is the fiction that enables the sort of surrounding quasi and getting less and less so pro-Western Arab regimes and Islamic regimes to maintain the fiction of their public that, there's a Palestinian state, like we'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
That's being disintegrated, and everyone sees
Exactly.
that. And so even you see Jordan, you see countries like Jordan saying we
Yeah.
need a stronger response.
By
Like,
the way, the reason they're doing it is not because they suddenly care about the Palestinians. It's
no,
because they know that if the 2.9 million West Bank residents and Palestinians who live there if the fiction shatters, then the Palestinians inside Jordan will light the place on fire, right? And so, like, the reason these governments are moving is not because we suddenly care about the Palestinians so much. No, it's because, holy fuck, I don't want to die, right? It's like, what do they fear more? Do they fear the wrath of the Israelis, the wrath of the Israeli lash from the back, or do they fear the tip of the spear of the Palestinian people from the front, right? That's the thing. It's like fear is the main motivator here. Like Egypt and Turkey, why are they doing these exercises? Man, they don't suddenly care about Palestine all of a sudden. They care about the fact that our societies will fall apart if we don't make a move, right?
Yeah.
That's what this is. And like
Correct.
the Pakistan Saudi Arabia thing, I wrote that essay for Sir Constantine's Multipolar Press. Shameless.
I saw that. I have not read it yet, but I saw that.
Go for it. No, but
I will read it. I will.
Yeah, but one of the things I said in it is that you don't really even need something to be super concrete. All you need to do is give the message that there is now ambiguity with regard to whether or not Saudi Arabia is defended by the Pakistani nuclear system, right? That's all you gotta do, right? You don't even need to like, hey man, here it is in writing in like section 6, paragraph number 9. You don't even need to do that. You just have to have one or two ministers just go out and say, yeah man, if Saudi Arabia requests nukes, we're gonna give it to them, right? And this fundamentally shatters the American system, because the way the American system works is that Israel the master, or like Israel the dog, or whatever you want to call it, the rabid dog, beats up the Arabs, right? We get the oil from the Arabs can't do shit, right? And we have the Suez, we've got the Red Sea, we've got the transit from the Straits of Hormuz or whatever. I mean, Iran's like whatever, but we own CENTCOM, right? We own whatchamacallit? We own West Asia. We own that part of the world, that prime real estate through which energy and flows and what have you. Right, exactly. And so it's like, now that's no longer true, man. Now it's in doubt, right? The Saudis have outright said that if it comes down to it, the Pakistanis will defend us, right? And, you can be like, oh, well, it's all bluff, man. It's all posturing. Nothing ever happens, blah, blah, blah. This is not a real treaty or whatever the fuck. I mean, number one, it looks pretty real, man. Number two, how do you know that? Have you tested it out yet?
Yeah, exactly.
There we go, right?
So strategic ambiguity goes both ways. Israel can have their strategic ambiguity, and the other people are starting to learn the game. So I remember,
minutes, man. Like they can test it, bro. They can test it, man, and they can wait 12 minutes, see if the Shaheen trees show up or not, right?
yeah. Lord have mercy if they do.
What's the yield on that? 45 kiloton. By the way, gentlemen, both India and Pakistan are non-signatories to the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. So India is not a signatory, neither is Pakistan. So per Pakistani military doctrine, and also Indian, the use of tactical nukes is perfectly permissible, right? So one of the things Pakistani generals have done is they have drawn up war plans against India where they fire off multiple volleys of like artillery launch nukes, like the 2 kiloton, 5 kiloton, 10 kiloton, 18 kiloton stuff, right? And then, the soldiers wear the gas masks and they march forward. So like, both India and Pakistan have signed up for that, folks. Just letting you guys know. That's legit.
I remember listening to Colonel Lawrence Wilkerson, I believe. He, a very smart guy. He's a, sort of like one of these U.S. military anti-war guys, and good for him. He makes a lot of cogent sense and all of this. But I remember he said something which is really funny to me. He said, well, in like I think during Cargill, so like 99, he was like, we had to go, like we had to rush to Pakistan and India and tell them, hey, if you guys use nukes, this is going to affect the entire globe. Like it's not going to be, it's just not.
By the way, like they had to be convinced.
Yeah.
Because like for the first several days they did not give a fuck. India's like, I want to kill Pakistan, and Pakistan's like, I want to kill India.
Yeah.
By the way, that's just the relationship right there. So there you go.
100%. So, and then both sides were like, "Oh, what do you mean?" You know what I mean? That's the level of like that's what we're dealing with here, which
You
is
mean I can't use nukes in like a fucking artillery system? You mean I can't fire it as an artillery shell? Fuck off. Get out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here. Stop being such a pussy bitch.
That adds an
Yeah.
extra layer of fun to this because if we've got Pakistan promising to come in for like to defend Saudi Arabia, and I could see a few other countries making similar treaties with, similar agreements with Pakistan. The Israelis have to know that, okay, if we fire nukes at Saudi Arabia, the Pakistanis aren't just going to wag their fingers and make strongly worded statements. They may lob a couple nuclear
Well, just
weapons
this
in our
year,
direction.
yeah, exactly. Just this year, we had
Yes.
that giant dogfight. And it was like, it was a 4-day thing. I mean, I don't know why people aren't calling it a war, man. It was a short war. It was a short war between India and Pakistan,
Yeah.
where like
It-
117 jets total on both sides, if you add them up. It's the largest dogfight since like what, 1941, Dieppe, like Germany or one of these places. Like, and like even the fucking Americans are saying the Indians lost like 5 jets or whatever, and like the Pakistanis came out on top because they used the Chinese stuff, right? And so it's like, I don't know why people aren't taking this stuff seriously. Like, you have a country that just like took out jets, now signing up with the Saudis and saying we're going to defend them. Why the fuck are you not taking their word seriously, right?
Hypernormalization.
Hypernormalization, man.
Hypernormalization.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
It really is. I mean, it really is. Like I just a different point maybe, but a similar point. Back to what you said about the local regional rulers. I remember in 2003, I was like probably 9 years old, maybe 10 years old. And I was in an argument with my English teacher. He was an older Protestant, one of these sort of like, born again types. A good man through and through, but he had the political ideology of, one of those super pastors, and he was a neocon, and
He was a
I
good
remember.
guy, basically. He was a good guy
Yeah,
for
he
his
was a
youth.
good
Yes.
guy. I mean, the man
Yeah.
he was a good man, but he's also a good guy, and that's a problem. That's a problem in America right now.
Well,
And
like the
so,
fucking he was whipped. So he was whipped every day by his Israeli masters, such
yeah,
that being a good guy and being cattle for the fucking Jews was second nature to him. Anyhow, brother Najee, go ahead.
sure. And when when the Passion came out, when Mel Gibson made the Passion, that shook his world a little bit. I remember, like people were always up in arms about Mel Gibson, and they're always anti-Semitic. He hit a nerve. Like he
Oh,
really.
bro, yeah.
Yeah, that movie is honestly brilliant.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to think about Mel Gibson, or whatever. But I remember arguing with him, and I was again 10 years old. But I remember saying, why would we?" This was the lead up to Iraq, and I said, "Why would we, go into Iraq when they haven't done a single thing since they invaded Kuwait, and their economy's in ruins, and their military had been clearly overpowered literally 10, 11 years ago. They know that they're not. I mean, like what threat are they to the United States?" And I was like, dude, the leadership in these authoritarian countries in the Middle East, they
Yeah,
care about their survival more than
that's
anything.
right.
More than anything in the entire
Yeah.
planet. All of them.
Yeah.
They'll go to
That's all they
extraordinary
care
lengths.
about,
That's all
exactly.
they care about.
Yeah.
And Saddam Hussein is case in point where he was not going to, like, it's not like he launched a preemptive strike against the U.S. or he did something crazy. Like, he was working.
You know why but do you know why he launched the war against Kuwait? Do you know this?
Of course I know this, yes. I mean,
Go ahead. Educate the audience.
Sure.
Educate the audience.
Sure. Because after the United States funded and kept the Iran-Iraq war going, which he was essentially not a proxy for the West, but certainly a willing.
He was a patsy, man.
Ally.
He was a fucking patsy.
Yeah, exactly. Like a patsy. That's a good word. He had taken loans from Kuwait, and Kuwait had been slant drilling into Iraq, and he thought, you know what, dude, I'm not I just defended the entire Arab and Western
He was a
world.
broke nigger, man.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
reason,
Like
bro, yeah,
yeah, the alert, yeah.
broke nigger alert, broke
Yeah,
nigger
yeah.
alert. Yeah, yeah.
So,
Well, why
So
do you think we're suddenly all worried about all the drugs coming out of Venezuela?
mm,
I mean, the fact that Venezuela has oil supplies that are roughly the size of Iraq's has absolutely nothing to do with this, I'm sure.
yeah, don't worry, Sir Kenaz, don't worry. The fact that Venezuela has 3 times as many jungles as fucking Vietnam, don't worry about it, man. As
Oh, I
soon as
didn't
the
say
fucking
we could win the war. I said I strongly suspect I know the motivation for the war.
yeah. Yeah, it already seems like
I'm just teasing you, Sir Kenaz. Yeah.
Sort of in-kind siege, like naval blockade. Like it's not fully, but it's like it's getting there. So yeah, no, it's crazy.
It's already a naval blockade. Like they're
Yeah.
basically shooting speedboats. Like this guy's a drug trafficker or whatever. No evidence whatsoever. Like he's just randomly shooting civilians. That's basically what he's doing, right? And the fucking MAGA fucking right wing, whatever the fuck you want to call them, they're just slurping it up like goy cattle, like the goy slop. They're drinking the goy slop. And like, look, man, I mean, it's basically a de facto blockade, right? Now, the Venezuelans, I think, have stuff from the Iranians. They have the speedboats. They have stuff from the Chinese. I don't know if they have stuff from the Russians, right? I'm interested in seeing how good their drones are and how good their ASPMs are. I know for a fact that Venezuela does not have a sophisticated missile arsenal like the Iranians do, right?
Yeah.
But honestly, bro, like, they don't even need that much. It's like their country is like a jungle fortress. What the fuck is America gonna do with 5,000 Marines? They can't do shit, man. They can do some terrorism and like shoot some random like speedboats, but that's all it is, man. It's just like
Yeah.
Trump is like parking his entire navy, not entire navy, but like 15-20% of his navy in the fucking Caribbean. And like Sir Malcolm, he was on one of these podcasts and he basically said there's 2 ways Trump can win. Maduro commits seppuku, right? Just commit suicide tomorrow. Or like number 2, the Venezuelan people just rise up, overthrow him, regime change.
Right.
Then they invite the Americans in and they're like, oh, America, yeah, you can just like loot our oil for pennies. Those are the only 2 ways he wins, man. Like,
Yeah.
there's no like third way out of this, right? There's no third way out of this here. Good Sir Axman, go ahead.
So, this is the final rant from my end. So,
Go for it, go.
gentlemen, we all know that the United States is fucked by the end of this century, by the end of this decade. All right?
Yeah.
There's no way they can wiggle their way out of this one. There's no IMF
I agree
bailout,
with
no
Yeah.
World Bank in the world that can help their white asses.
No,
So, as we all can ascertain, the MAGA movement, the populist movement, as Sir Malcolm said before, that Donald Trump is the final president to show everyone once and for all that this shit is unreformable. There is no pro peace ticket in any form of American administration ever. War crimes comes with the job. All right.
Yeah, that's right,
So
that's right.
from this perspective, we can all, as of right now, assess that the MAGA movement are sog cattles. But there's another side to the coin I would like to address.
Go for it.
The Democratic Party. All right, the liberals.
Yes,
all right,
yes.
we all know the liberals. All right,
The
libtards. The retards, libtards, basically.
Yes.
And to me, what I've noticed in the recent coverage of this is that, and there actually was this very interesting video about called it's this playlist called the Alt-Right Playbook, and it's like the latest video of it that I watched. It was about the passing of the Rubicon River, which there's no pass or point of return. And the way that video discusses is that how the Democrats often just rearrange the line so that as if America can come back from this. So the way they talk about the next year midterms as if there's going to be a midterm. And they talk about the 2028 election as if there's going to be a 2028 election.
There will be a midterms. Good sir, there will be a midterms, but you gotta vote Donald John Trump or else.
Yeah. But that's what I'm trying. My main point is this. from
Yeah,
people like in the New York Times, Washington Post, Financial Times, the European cucks, the South Korean and Japanese dogs that worship the Uncle Sam's cock like it's fucking the Lazarus pit or whatever. At what point does it get to their fucking head that the United States is finished?
I think they already know it.
This is a great question.
I think they
Well,
already know it, though. That's the thing.
n-
Yeah. Go ahead, brother. Go
uh,
ahead.
so I would say really, I mean, that's a great question, and I live in the U.S. and by God, I question almost every day why my father brought me here from Pakistan. Like in his in his nutsack of all
Go
things.
back to
But
Pakistan,
regardless,
bro. Bro,
yeah,
go
We'll go
back to
yeah.
back
Pakistan and
to
fight
Islamabad, Habibi.
for the Holy
I,
Land, bro.
Habibi, I wish,
You
You
need to
man.
gotta
go
fight
back.
for the Holy Land, bro. You gotta fight for the Holy Land. Go back to Pakistan. Fulfill your destiny.
Tell your Ammu that he's a Yankee lover.
Oh my God, yes. No, the chaotic, sclerotic brain of the U.S. Um, westernized Muslim is still figuring this out. They're getting there quicker, but the Western. I live in Middle America. I
Yeah.
live, in Ohio, and the I have close, and this is anecdotal, but I have close contact with people who are of this sort, these MAGA people who still have faith and they hold tightly to the rope, and they're essentially kulaks. A lot of them, right? They run a small business, mowing lawns, or they whatever. And because the U.S. has printed a bajillion trillion dollars since the financial crisis, they've been doing decently, like, quite honestly. But the workers have not been doing decently, but the kulaks have been doing decently, and they have a lot of the political sway and control. And I mean, I can't. It boggles the mind. I don't know what it will take. I think it will take a severe market crash, like a
I don't think
severe.
even that's gonna do anything. That's the thing. Like so like
Yeah.
like the Hosa killed their cattle, and the prophet has told them the ancestors are gonna show up, and there's gonna be a final battle, and we'll just like drive out the boar. I think that's how America dies. I think it's just gonna be like the tariffs will save us any moment now. The nation will be reindustrialized, and we will once more be going back to the moon, and people are gonna be like flagellating themselves and bleeding out to death. I think no one's gonna. I think that's what's gonna happen, man. I don't think like Sir Axman asked that question, brilliant question. Thank you for that. I don't think anything's gonna happen. I think it's just gonna be death via 1,000 cuts, right? It's gonna be like, okay, well, Iran fired a bunch of missiles. It killed like 3,000 of our guys, 10,000 wounded. Yeah, we're gonna those fucking sand diggers. We're gonna kill them and whatever the fuck. And then they'll rant and rave. You'll have these different groups. Like nowadays they call themselves dissident right. There'll be like different factions. Another faction of like, here's why it's based in red pills to be like fucking pro Zion, sodomizing us, and also like hating Muslims or whatever, right? There'll be more groups like that. There'll be more. The point I'm making is that the world writ large is going to become less America centric. America is going to become less relevant. It'll become the fucking boonies. And more people, like in the fucking mental asylum, they'll be having their shizu episodes. That's how I think it ends, man. Like, and it's gonna be like, okay, well, the country's falling apart, but no, it hasn't really fallen apart. We still have the Constitution. Meanwhile, like, there's 14 or 15 new entities, and people are emigrating out there. No, bro, no, America will go back to the moon 5 years from now. Fucking Artemis program or whatever the fuck. Like, I think it's never gonna end, man. I think it's just gonna be like that for the next several decades and centuries.
Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah. It
Yeah,
could be very well.
damn.
yeah, yeah. Like to be fair,
Back up.
we've seen this before. Like if you go to Germany, right? Like you find a bunch of these old people. They're kind of like dressed up in like the Prussian flag. If you go to like Russia, there's a bunch of these people there. They have like all these Soviet medals, and you just ask them, "What the fuck are you doing, man?" And they're like, I am a proud comrade of the USSR, or like, I am the Kaisers, whatever the fuck. Like LARP and cosplay and these types of things, man. Like it's a human pastime. Like we do this and you should actually be making fun of them. Like, we human beings, we're not the rational animal. We're like the believing creature, right? Like, that is their mythology. That's their civic religion. And that's what they're going to believe in, man. And Americans are going to believe in theirs as well, right? They're going to fall apart. They're going to become fellaheen, right? They'll be fellaheen. And then 500 years from now, they'll still be saying things like, Yeah, the iron chariots that wrestled with the moon up there. We will wrestle with the moon with the iron chariots again any day now. So there you go.
Bismillah Rahman Rahim. They might as well just off themselves. All
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
The night is getting late for me. So
take
my
care.
brothers,
Take
it's time for me to go off. So take care, everyone, and let's survive these trying times.
Thank you, good Sir
Inshallah.
Axman.
Good luck.
Inshallah.
Thank you for coming.
All
No
right.
problem.
All right. See ya. But that was a good. Sir Axman has to go. No, but like I'm just like I don't think there's gonna be an. I don't believe in this concept of one day the Americans will wake up, there will be an epiphany, there will be like finally America realizes that it must have an no man no well I want to have an American nation, I don't want the American empire. I'm like okay, so you want to fly this plane with both the engines blown out? That's basically what you just told me, man. I mean I'm sorry, but that's not gonna happen, right? You're not gonna fucking fly this plane with both the engines blown out, right? Like, enough. We don't need Europe. Well, okay, sure, yeah. Well, without your vassals in Europe, you don't have anyone to service the debt. You don't. Like, who the fuck's gonna buy
Yeah.
that, man? Like, okay,
That-
4.5% or whatever for like the 30 years.
No, it's just going to be.
Yeah.
What I see is an like you said, like some kind of. What I see is inflation. I know you have the paradigm of deflation.
Stagflation. No, like stagflation.
But yes, like some kind of stagflation.
There's 3 steps. There's 3 steps, my friend. Stagflation, which we've already seen. Like, we have confirmation, by the way. Like Jerome Powell from the Federal Reserve, he just flat out said, yeah, tariff inflation is a thing, right? And the labor market is worsening. So he just admitted to stagflation, right? Stagflation is step 1. Step 2 is deflation. Deflation is going to happen when there's multiple failures and bankruptcies for people being unable to keep up with like these payments and the fact that things are rising too high. The deflation is the second step. The third step is the worst one, which never happened, but I think it's going to happen this time. It didn't happen during the Great Depression, but it's called stag deflation, right? Stag deflation is when there is contraction of the productive forces.
The economy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got goods and services and labor pool decreasing, stagnant to declining, and you have simultaneously, the decline of like money and money supply and what have you, right? And that has not happened yet, but if it does happen, it's the terminal crisis of civilization. Civilization doesn't come out of that, right? Not just America, but anybody. It just like destroys everything. So, the final nail in the coffin. There we go. I'm writing my book on that, by the way. So how you get to stag deflation, but that's a different thing. That's a different topic.
Yes.
Yeah. So no, I just man, it's just fucking over, man. It's fucking over. Oh, good sir, backyard. Sorry, I didn't see your hand. Go ahead.
Oh, hey, yeah. I think that America is actually pretty vulnerable to like an economic calamity. We need a steady supply of the goy slop, or get very discontent people. But and I think if you look at the administration's actions, a lot of that betrays a government very desperate for cash. So the tariffs is just an additional tax, funneling money to the government. There was Doge, let's fire the federal civil employees.
Yeah, that's right.
And have money and give it to the military. And even this H-1B thing, now you have you can have your H-1Bs, but it's $100,000, right? And I think
the Trump gold card, all of that bullshit.
$1 million. $1 million, bro. $1 million. That's all you got to pay.
Exactly, but I think all these
American
actions.
Citizenship, all these people. I want to I'm sorry, good sir, backyard, but excellent points. I'm just gonna rant for a few seconds. All these fucking
That's fine.
All these fucking posers, all these fucking fakes, all these fucking new right, dissident right, tradition, nation, blah 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 blah. You fuckers, my ancestors were here from the Mayfield. Yeah, you know what Trump did? Trump just said what it's worth, man. Trump said it's worth $1 million fucking dollars. 400 years of history, your family, your relatives, you know what that's fucking worth? It's worth $1 million. Trump just gave you the fucking prize, man. He gave you the fucking price tag, right? Your
like
boy
an actuarial, like an actuarial scientist.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, it's like it's fucking disgusting, man. It's fucking disgusting. So I don't take these people seriously. Good sir backyard. Go ahead. And apologies for the rant.
Shit.
I have to yell a bit. There we go.
No, I agree with that, and it's very cheap. I can trace my ancestors back to I don't know the Mayflower, but pretty far back.
Yeah.
But where was I going with that?
Economic
But yeah,
crisis
and I don't.
cash flow. You were talking about the tariffs and America becoming dependent on the tariffs.
Right. So I look at a lot of the news through this lens, like the U.S. government needs cash,
That's right.
and I wonder if this Venezuela operation is just about commandeering these resources, and maybe if we get Venezuela's economic resources, we can afford to manage these other theaters abroad. I'll take the under on that. I don't see how economically America can project enough power to sustain, the war against Russia, and then we're going to open a front in Iran, which I think probably is coming. I just see things falling apart before we get there, but I don't know. But in any case, I gotta put my kids to bed, so I gotta depart,
No
guys.
worries.
I'll see y'all later.
No worries. Good sir.
It was a pleasure. Thanks. Come back anytime we're on Twitter Spaces.
Thank you. Good
I
sir.
will do.
Thank you,
Yeah.
sir. Family comes first. Family comes first. Good night. Good night. Good night. Yeah, but like I mean, good sir, chicken farmer is correct, but like this is all fucking money grab, man. Like the tariffs are bringing in like what $30 billion per month, right? The deficit is like what $345 billion in the month of August. 344 billion was the inflow. America's fucking broke, man. It's broke, right? Like enough,
super
the
broke.
fucking $30 billion tariff money. No, man, no. Do the fucking math. Do the fucking math. There is no way the tariffs are going to stop what's coming. Tariffs are like a tiny speed bump in this inevitable mathematical doom loop of like the interest rates, the yield rather on the bonds going up, cost of borrowing goes up, interest on the debt goes up, more and more bullshit happens, deficit increases, repeat ad nauseum until America falls apart. That's what this is, man. Like it's not gonna be like this. America goes out and I think like he was talking about opening up a front. I don't know, man. Like I think like even the fucking Venezuela thing. Like I'm looking at this and I'm going, is Trump actually going to land 5,000 Marines on Venezuela, or is it more likely? And I think this is the more likely outcome. He's just gonna fire off a bunch of like cruise missiles from like far away and then say, "Oh, mission accomplished." Right? He'll do what he did in Yemen, man. He'll just fucking run. Like I think that's what he's gonna do, man. I think it's just gonna be a disgraceful retreat, right? Yeah. He's gonna show everyone, not only can I not do anything to a bunch of rebels in Yemen who don't wear any fucking shoes, right? I can't even like, okay, I'll pick the autocrat in South America, Latin America, who's been under sanctions for years, whose like what entire economy is like commodities, whose entire military is like, second rate, third rate Chinese and Russian stuff. I can't even beat that guy. I think that's what Trump's gonna do, man. I think he's just gonna fire a bunch of cruise missiles, call it a day, call it mission accomplished. Off he goes back to America, where he slowly bleeds out to death.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about where can the U.S. in its desperation, where can it find funding sources? Where can it find an expansion of its economy in order to increase the tax base, or and when you really scratch your head and you think about it, it's really, you come up pretty much bare. I mean, there's almost nothing. Like you see the U.S. attempting to essentially extort every country in the world right now. Like that's one thing that was not said. And
you know what's actually happening? 86% of the cost, like 86%, so 64% of the tariffs are being paid by American companies. 22% is being paid by American consumers, and about 14%. So they're even fucking failing on that. That's the thing. It's like, yeah, we're gonna get China and India to pay, but bitch, your American companies are being hollowed out.
Yeah, and they say things like, "Oh, we got the Saudis to give us $1 trillion in investment," and we like the Trump.
The Saudis can promise you $100 trillion, bro. Like they're fucking. That's what they're good at, man. They're fucking oil sheiks, man.
Yeah, I know.
They fucking lie for a living. Fucking lie for a living. They're gonna promise you $100 trillion by fucking Tuesday, right? Trump is such a fucking buffoon, man. Holy shit. He got scammed by a bunch of oil sheiks. Seriously, man.
I see it a little differently. I see it that he's not even.
Yeah.
It's that he's
Us Bengalis
right.
getting scammed by the oil sheiks. Like we're like a dirt poor country where we make clothes, and I guess some of us are good at physical labor. If we get scammed by a bunch of fucking oil sheiks, whatever, man. Like fair enough, right? Oh, too bad. The fucking Americans, they get all this like high education, high IQ, whatever the fuck you want to call it. They get fucking scammed by a bunch of oil sheiks. It's a disgrace, man. It's a fucking disgrace.
Oh, big time. And I think
Jeez.
that I mean, they're yeah. There's no. I don't see a way out. I honestly, I don't see a way
There
out. I mean,
isn't one, man. There isn't one.
I rack my head. I think because everyone, nothing ever happens and X,
You
Y,
have
Z.
to,
But
you have to, like the only pathway, like if you want to truly pursue that position of like America will triumph or whatever the fuck, you have to go like what J&G is doing, which is like the tariffs will miraculously, do this thing where yes, America will default, but somehow it'll default and then reindustrialize at the same. No, man, like you have to basically like what's the name of that book? When Prophecy Fails. So in When Prophecy Fails, right, like when you get empirical verification that a specific prophecy that you made in the past is not going to happen, period, end of discussion, in certain circumstances, if 5 or 6 conditions are met, 5 to 10% of the people who believed in that prophecy, they become more zealous and they believe in the prophecy even more, right? And that's the only way you can believe that America is going to triumph. America will come out. America is not fucked. No enough. You're just an evil Muslim. Fuck you. You're lying. You're this. You're that. It's all personal attacks, by the way. Well, I know that I've won. When all he's got left is personal attacks and like memes, right? When you goad him into anger and he just gives you all that delicious anger and you like eat it like fucking ice cream, right? You know that you fucking won, right? And that's what I'm seeing with all the fucking Americans, man. Like they're just behaving like a bunch of weasels, man. I'm sorry, but like it's like Trump signed something about H-1Bs, then they behave like a bunch of weasels. They're like, yeah, see, Indians on Reddit are yelling about committing suicide, right? I mean, they're probably a bunch of bots, but like let's say, okay, whatever. So and then they do that for a few hours, and then the press secretary just says, actually, no, it's only a $100,000 one-time fee. And oh, by the way, the company's going to pay it and blah, blah, blah. And then, you understand what I mean? It's like they get their hit of dopamine. They get their goy cattle, goy slop, pellet, tapioca flavored, freshly minted, right? And then the Jews step on it for a while and then they like feed it to the fucking cattle. And then they just go about their day again, man. Like they don't matter anymore, man. They don't matter anymore, right? Like, I don't know what to tell you, but like, they're just going to keep doing this. They're just going to keep doing this and they're going to keep failing.
What did you guys start off talking about?
What did we start off talking about? We started off talking about how Russia was flying off drones and they were going into like Norway and Denmark and no one can do anything anymore because like the Americans know that, NATO's fucking finished. So that's what we started off with.
Oh, I understand. Yeah, I mean Kupiansk is being taken as we speak. That's something is like the people. I don't know. People don't have the correct level of autism for some of these situations. I think these days, like
no.
They think, Ukraine, Israel, Palestine, maybe economy, Venezuela, and then it's like, well, dig down deeper. And you'll see the story.
You have to explain to them like they're fucking goldfish, man. Like you gotta explain to them that February 24th, 2022. Okay, the tanks rolled over into Ukraine. The invasion began. Okay, but what was happening in like August of 2021, April of 2021, September of 2021? Oh, shocked Pikachu face. Russia was flying drones and jets over the fucking Ukrainian cities, right? What the fuck is Russia doing right now? Russia is flying drones. Now, again, I don't believe Russia's gonna roll tanks into Oslo or fucking Copenhagen. Like, what the fuck is there to invade anyways? Like, it's got nothing, man. It's got like a bunch of fish, maybe some delicious fish. That's it, right? Us Bengalis like fish, but I don't think the Russians like fish. Anyhow, so it's like, so you see this shit and you're like, okay, bro, the Russians are doing reconnaissance by force, right? They're gonna do deep strikes on you. They're gonna like launch their missiles and take out the NATO staging areas, the NATO supply depots. That's what they're gonna do. They might do it a few months from now. They might do it 1 or 2 years from now. But that's what they're fucking preparing for, right? And you try to explain to them, man, and they don't get it, man. They don't get it. They're just like, kindness of strangers, Russia will fuck up, and we as the protagonists, we at the Western world will win, right? That's their frame of mind right now.
Yeah.
So.
That's exactly it.
Sir Kenaz, what happened? Did you,
I'm still here. I'm still
still
here.
here.
I've just been letting
you should
everybody
rant
else
and
speak.
rave. Sir Kenaz, it's a ranty, ravey episode.
Everybody else has been having such a good time ranting. I mean, I think the problem here is it's really tempting to blame Trump for being an idiot. And that's kind of like blaming a mangy
Classic.
hound for being a mangy hound.
There we go. Yeah.
I'm not sure that there is a political leader who could really do much to stop the economic spiral we're in.
Exactly.
And I think we have structural problems, like the very structure of our economy. First of all, it was set up with the greatest problem of all. Our economy is based on the idea line go up always.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nothing goes up always.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
People don't realize. I mean, like Kenaz, I can't underline this enough. This is essentially what like I told you, my boomer, friend who is a kulak. It's what he believes. It's what I mean. I have family members who were very, very intelligent, PhD, government lab folks who ran, testified in Congress and ran, cybersecurity standards, all of this. They just have this belief, like it's beyond faith. It's just an understanding they have that, oh, don't worry about it. Like, yeah, okay, there's a dip, but then it'll go back up. You just go long-term invest and you put it in the indexes and it just goes up. It just goes up, man. Just be patient, be disciplined. It's like, holy mother of Christ. Have you guys read history at all? Like,
Yeah.
do you also understand the timetable we're talking about? The line has been going up mostly since, I don't know, the 40s, right? Okay. Even since the Great Depression, I mean, even since 32, maybe, let's just say. That's less than 100 years. And you guys are assuming that it's going to happen for another 100 years. Like, this is beyond flabbergasting to me. And there's no way to get across to those folks.
You can't convince everyone, man. Like, that's just how it is, right? You gotta understand, like, you're gonna see all kinds of freaky behavior now. You're gonna see people like saying, "No, man, no, tariffs will save us," and then you'll see fucking freaks going, "No, man, no, we can defeat Russia," and like, "No, man, no, the Iranians will surrender," and "No, man, no, Israel will,
Ukraine's
create."
going to get territory back.
Yeah, Israel will like one of these fuckers. Like there's this fucker on Substack, right? I forget his name, but like it's one of those fuckers who are like, any day now, Greater Israel will be formed. Now, like, bitch, he can't even go into Lebanon by 800 meters. Like, the Israeli military can't even go into Lebanon for 800 meters and gets their fucking, keister handed to them, right?
Well, they can't even go into Gaza City by 800 meters.
Yeah, 25 miles by 5 miles. They can't even take that after like 2 years. Yeah, man, fucking Greater Israel. Bitch, shut the fuck up, man. Like, anyone who studies even basic military stuff, right? Like what, 1982, the Israel-Lebanon war commences. Like what, Israel gets to Beirut in 6 weeks, right? 6 weeks, man. They got to Beirut in 6 weeks. What the fuck are they doing right now? They're like, oh yeah, man, status quo antebellum. They're like, yeah, man, we're gonna draft even more fucking Haredim, and it's the so-called Zionist spider's web is collapsing as we speak, right? The only question now is, does America go tits up first, or does Israel go tits up first? Because again, they're tied to the hip, man. One guy dies, the other guy dies, and vice versa, right? So
if America loses the ability to project force in the Middle East and the Persian Gulf, spoiler alert, if America gets in a war with Iran, it loses the ability to project force in the Middle East and the Persian Gulf.
Sir Kenaz, I got something for you. Check the fuck. Let me send this to the spaces. You know what? I'm gonna send this to a direct message. All right, let's send a direct message. All right, check your DMs, Sir Kenneth.
I
Check.
got it. Sent it.
This is
Let's
like
see.
the
And
this. You could also use this as a fucking like header for the
I
episode.
fell for it again. Award.
Serves him
Yeah, that
right. That's what you need. Oh my god.
serves him right. He
Yeah.
trusted Donald
Oh,
Trump.
this is hilarious. Colombia's president requests the opening of criminal proceedings against Trump for the bombardment of boats in the Caribbean. I mean, nothing's gonna happen out of it, but like, that's hilarious, man. He's just like, he's at the UN General Assembly and saying, "Fuck you, fuck." The UN has become a circus, man. Holy shit. Oh man, these people, man. Yeah, yeah.
Well, the
So,
UN's is no longer really a
relevant.
serious
Yeah, yeah.
organization. What's the UN going to do?
Nothing.
Send a peacekeeping force in?
No.
They're all going to get together, have conversations.
Yeah.
Well, I want to let you finish your point, Knaz. But there was that really amazing sketch where Dave Chappelle, back during Chappelle's show, so we're talking 22 or so years ago, did Black Bush, and
Black Bush.
he was
I
like,
remember that. Yeah, bro. I
you
remember that.
remember?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, revisit it. It's comedic genius. He goes, oh, and this is the lead up to the Iraq War. Why don't you? Oh, UN? Why don't you sanction me with your army? Oh, what's that? You don't have an army? Well, you better shut the fuck up. That's
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
sort of the unmasking of the UN as a, yeah, I mean, just a farce.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Like, it's just I don't expect the UN to do anything. What I do expect, however, is that individual nations are going to take matters into their own hands. I think the Saudis did so. The Pakistanis have done so. I think Iran is going to go for round 2, round 3, right? I think Egypt and Turkey, the main thing that bottlenecks them is that Turkey basically, like Argentina, I don't know if you were following the news, but Argentina is basically bankrupt right now. They haven't formally defaulted yet, but probably in the next several weeks and months they will. After that, I think unfortunately it's going to be Turkey, right? And if you default, okay, well you're the second largest NATO uh, country by contributing forces, right? And now you're bankrupt. That means you can't pay the soldiers anymore, right? I think that's the main reason why Turkey hasn't intervened. Egypt hasn't intervened for the obvious reason that the IMF and the World Bank, have them by the balls. But even these guys, man, like
Yep.
eventually they will get to the point where like they fear the pointy spear of their people more than they do the lash of the Zionists, right? And that's where we're headed. I mean, yeah, like it's a race to the bottom for Israel with regard to who kills me first. Do the Iranians kill me first? Do the fucking Pakistanis fire up the Shaheen tree and level Tel Aviv with 45 kilotons of like uranium? Right? Is it gonna be someone else? We don't know. We don't know. But like, yeah, I don't think the Americans, because once the Qatar strike happened, America just told everyone that yeah, we're not going to protect our vassals, and so the vassals just went, all right, so you're not going to protect the vassals, so I guess I got to get someone else to protect me, right? And that's what Saudi Arabia did. I mean, I think the Saudis themselves said that 2 more guys are going to join the pact. If I had to guess, they're probably going to be Qatar and UAE, right? So I think those guys will also request Pakistan to put them under their umbrella, right? I don't know that for
Yeah.
sure yet, but by
Yeah.
those who study this formally, that's what they're telling me.
I was just going to add, I wanted to do a state by state analysis of who may or may not join and what that would mean.
Do it
And
right
we can
now,
do
bro.
that. Oh, okay, sure.
Do it right now. We got plenty of time.
Yeah, yeah.
Unless someone
So,
wants to object and like say something else, like Brother Naji, you've got the floor.
okay. Yeah, no, I mean, my thinking was in the first event that really shook this regional security issue for the Gulf countries, for all of these players, these authoritarians, and all of these states that just kind of, hey, I'm going to keep my head down and try and survive this thing, was the bombing in Qatar. And the thing about Qatar is that the 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 Saudis and the UAE don't really like Qatar. Like, we know this, we remember back in 2016, I think 2017, they had that blockade of them, or they
Oh yeah,
attempted to do it. They're always beefing with them. They're, what is this pipsqueak who has a lot of money, but, we have a lot of money, and they're tiny, but they have, they're kind of, they're always, yeah, at odds with them. why are they, doing things on their own? Like the UAE will go and send, $500 million to, the RSF in Sudan and do their own foreign policy things, go fund Haftar in Libya and whatever. But the UAE is bigger and it has more money. And so like Saudi kind of is like, all right, whatever, you help us in Yemen then or whatever, right? But Qatar is different in that they have their own individual policy, and they supported various groups that were not supported by Saudi and the UAE in Syria, for instance. They have Al Jazeera, everyone knows. They have a different bent. It's a little bit more Islamist. It's a little bit more, they always have overtures to Turkey. They're always working on sort of that relationship. And you could even go as far as saying that they have a positive view of the Muslim Brotherhood, things like this. But so the attack on Qatar might not be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Certainly it has shifted the entire security paradigm, but it might not be the thing that tips it all the way over.
Yeah,
So
it's the
it's
first
just,
act.
it's the
It's the
first
first
act,
act,
and
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, Israel can bomb Iran all day, and Saudi will be like, "Cool, U.S., give me more weapons. Here, this is
Iran doesn't
great."
mind, by the way.
Oh yeah,
If Israel bombs Iran, Iran's like, all right, man, eat 10 more missiles.
yeah,
that's
yeah.
basically
No,
the
for sure.
Iranian attitude. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's insane to even begin to think about how crazy Israel has become and how much they're like digging themselves
Yeah,
deeper into the hole.
you're like
Like,
bombing a country of 92.5 million people with a surface area 5 times the size of Germany. It's a giant mountain fortress where like, okay, well, you killed 50,000 people. Okay, man, they'll kill tens of thousands of your guys as well with their missiles. Like, what the fuck are the Israelis thinking, man? Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. They don't think, right? They're just a
yeah,
bunch
no,
of
they're
fucking
not.
Zionists, right? There you
Yeah,
go.
I mean, they're psychotic. It boggles the
Yeah.
mind. So, but yeah, I mean, again, like, why would you? Um, how could you attempt to take on Iran, take on Hezbollah, take on the resistance axis, take on the Ansar Allah in Yemen, all of this at the same time? You literally attack Qatar and you kill a Qatari citizen who was like a bodyguard of the Hamas delegation,
Yeah.
and that is the Gulf, that is one of the Gulf Council members. That is one of the
Yeah,
one of the
GCC.
US's
Yeah, yeah.
most, yeah, one of the US's most important allies in the
Yeah.
region. So
Yeah.
you're spitting in the
Which
face
the
of,
Americans did
like,
not defend. Not once, but
oh
twice. They
no,
didn't defend them when the
yeah,
Iranians fired missiles. And they didn't defend. You know what this is? You know what this is? It's like, it's showing everyone that that the vassals won't be defended by the master. Right? And that's really important. But go ahead, Brother Nashi.
yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. It does boggle the mind, right? And I agree. Like, when you're in a bar fight and you're fighting this guy who's bigger than you, and you're kind of sort of hanging on, you don't spit in the face of his best friend while you're fighting. You know what I mean? Like, you don't spit in the face of your best friend. Like,
Yeah.
who's supposed to jump in and help you, that kind of thing. But so, well, let's look at which countries may or may not um, become part of the security arrangement or form a security arrangement of their own. The first one is Egypt, and we saw reports that Egypt attempted to sort of lead the security arrangement with Saudi, and that they were rebuffed. And Saudi thought, hey, I can do this on my own with Pakistan, and so we'll go that way. So, but Egypt is desperately looking for security partners, so they
Yeah,
may.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, yeah, they might work with Turkey, and obviously they're getting closer and closer. And 5 years ago that would have been completely taboo.
Honestly,
But
bro, like
yeah,
what's that Yukio Mishima quote? The Yukio Mishima quote is, "I don't care about left versus right. I care about who's violent." That's just my attitude, man. I'm just like, just get the ball rolling, man. Like fucking,
yes, it's law of the
Egypt,
jungle now.
bro,
Yeah,
Egypt, Saudi doesn't want you, bro. Maybe Turkey wants you. Maybe fucking Jordan wants you. Get the fucking ball rolling. Get those tanks into the fucking Zionist entity and end the fucking place, right? So that's my attitude to the whole thing, man. But go ahead, go ahead. Oh, awkward moment of silence.
Oh,
What
you
happened,
hit
oh,
the.
sorry about that. I just was muted. I was letting you
Go ahead, go ahead.
trying to be respectful.
No
So
worries.
so
This is a ranty
let's.
episode. No, you can
Oh
be
yeah, yeah. No, yeah,
100%
we're
informal. Don't
freewheeling.
worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Don't worry
yeah,
about
yeah. We're freewheeling.
it. Yeah.
So if let's say what I would presume is that Kuwait would become part of the Saudi, um, Pakistan thing, and they have.
Yeah.
I mean, they're probably slightly wealthier than Qatar, and they have a bigger population, and they need protection. So maybe Kuwait. It's possible that UAE as well. Um,
Yeah.
it's possible. So if those two countries move into this new security agreement, okay, that is not outside the realm of possibility, and people will look at it and say, okay, yeah, it's just the GCC kind of coming together with Pakistan, and okay, it's not completely shifting the paradigm. If Qatar does, though, this is where it gets very spicy because they are, it will show a complete 180 from the Saudi position against them and the UAE position against them from just again like 7 years ago, and they've mended relations a little bit, but this everyone in that area, like I just laid out, they look at the Qatar as like this sort of black sheep of the family, let's say.
Yeah.
So okay, so that's the first tell. The second one would be if they include a um, a very strong North African country, in my opinion, if they include Algeria or Morocco, someone who isn't really, and I don't think Morocco would, but Algeria is an interesting sort of dark horse candidate because they have a massive military, they have a large population, um, and no one ever thinks about Algeria. But guess what? Algeria had a long history of anti-colonialism and fighting the French. So that's an interesting one. If they do South Yemen, the South Yemeni government, that will also be a tell because that'll be like, well, then they're just gonna start to amass against the Houthis, and this is all just sort of a way for them to get behind the U.S. even further into a sort of
Yeah.
right. Okay. Another one would be Syria. Syria clearly would be a ripe candidate for protection. They need it very desperately. They're being like, you guys
Yeah,
know
but
the
Syria is a
Israelis.
client of Turkey. That's the thing, though. I don't think they have like
Right, correct.
eh, eh,
No, correct. I guess I mean no, I'm just talking about possibilities. We're talking
possibilities.
about
Go ahead. Go ahead.
1 to 5% chance.
Fair
Right.
enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So, yeah. So if I mean, like you said, Turkey is also in a position where it doesn't have that much money, and Syria needs a lot of
Turkey
money
is
right now.
like, yeah. I mean, the problem with Turkey is like if Argentina, I mean, Argentina is basically defaulted. I mean, the next guy on the list to default is Turkey, right? That's the problem
Right.
with Turkey, right? They have
Yeah.
problems with their like dollar reserves and these kinds of things, right? So that's the main problem with Turkey, right? Uh, it's not the end of
Yes.
the world because like if Turkey goes broke and bankrupt, right? This is gonna sound crazy, but like it's happened before. Like if the government can't pay the soldiers, someone else will, right? And who is that someone else? Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. It's going to be someone a bit more interesting than Erdogan. Let me put it that way. So,
Yes.
yeah,
So yeah, I mean, yeah. So to continue that, I mean, Turkey would be a very obviously that would be the major player. If Turkey joins this military alliance, that would be earth shattering.
what if
Essentially,
Iran
that would be.
joins it, brother Naji? What if Iran joins it?
Well, yeah, you're right. There was another one more interesting one than Turkey. If you, there's,
Then the Israelis will
uh,
get the fucking message. What's going on here?
oh my God. I mean, yeah, exactly. That would be earth shattering. I mean, that would literally lead to within
That's
two
why it's not going
weeks
to happen, man.
a
It's gonna be it's
testing
gonna
of
be
yeah.
it's gonna be someone boring. It's gonna be like if
Kuwait.
there's gonna be a third member, I think it's gonna be like UAE. I think it's going to be
Right.
like UAE, and I think it might be Qatar, right? But like Qatar and UAE, that's it. I don't think it's going to be Iran. Iran's like, nah, bros, you guys want to play, you can play. I got my own thing with Israel. I got my one-on-one with them in a few weeks. Don't worry about it. You do your thing. I'll hit them with my missiles. Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
No, I agree. I think, yeah, I don't think Iran has any, although, so yeah, so, I mean, if this thing expands, and then obviously it has to be tested, it's just like anything else in the international system, it's all just anarchy, and, your word is only as good as the action you take to back it up. But, yeah, I mean, you could see players like Oman, to guard the sort of, Red Sea
yeah.
Strait. You could see players like Kuwait, again, you could see. Lebanon is a very interesting one because the U.S. has been um, really focusing on trying to dismantle Hezbollah on the part of uh, Israel, and they've spent an enormous amount of like diplomatic energy, and they're really focusing on that, and they're trying to sort of reignite the um, Lebanese forces, the paramilitary, the military of Lebanon, and they're attempting to sort of consolidate power away from Hezbollah. But Hezbollah is not falling for these games, and we all know this. And you can listen to statements by Sheikh Naim Qasim and the successor to Hassan Nasrallah, and obviously they're like, well, dude, we're not going to give up our weapons until Israel gives up their weapons, and that's
Yeah,
never going to
exactly.
happen. So
Yeah.
yeah. So, but if they include Lebanon, then there is again, that would signal that this alliance is again falling into the Western camp or being amenable to the Western policies.
Yeah.
And just imagine Saudi and Pakistan send 40,000 peacekeeping troops to southern Lebanon
Mm-hmm.
after the Lebanese government attempts to take the weapons from Hezbollah, and that you start seeing turf wars and running gun battles in Beirut and southern Lebanon. Like that's where that would be the worst case scenario, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it is an eventuality, and you have to at least think about it.
Fair enough.
Same thing with Yemen. If they include the South Yemeni government, that could lead to a quote unquote peacekeeping mission, special military operation, uh, in against the Ansar Allah.
Yeah.
Lastly, I think if they tried to include Azerbaijan, which is again a very small possibility, but if they did that, then that would also signal a sort of pro-Western Israeli, bent to this military alliance. But yeah, it's
Yeah, I think it's just gonna be GCC countries, bro. Like, I don't think it's gonna be something
I
sexy
agree.
like Iran. I don't think it's gonna be something sexy like Iran. I don't think it's gonna be something like, muscular like
Massive, like
Turkey.
Turkey,
Yeah, I think it's just gonna be like the third guy is probably gonna be UAE, the fourth guy is probably gonna be Qatar, right? Maybe the fifth guy is gonna be Bahrain. I don't know, but like, that's what Pakistan. I think what Pakistan is trying to do is Pakistan is trying to fill in the vacuum that America has left behind. Because, like,
Mhm.
there's a vacuum, because, again, Qatar is a loyal vassal of America. And it's like, okay, well, the master is not going to protect me. Holy shit, I need someone else to protect me, right? And that's where Pakistan's coming in, right? I don't think
Yes.
Pakistan right now is like, yeah, man, we're going to fire the Shaheen 3 and, like, obliterate Tel Aviv, right? I'm feeling like it, right? I think Pakistan is taking the attitude of, we got to make sure that we restore deterrence, and that's what we're going to step in to do, right? So Pakistan's being a rational actor. I don't think like Pakistan's like, young, hot-blooded, 20-year-old, yeah, man, time to nuke Tel Aviv. Like, you
Yeah.
know, that's like, I don't think that's what they're trying to figure that out. But no, I've been watching the UN stuff. I
Well,
normally don't pay attention to it, but like, it's very interesting who Trump's been talking to. But before I
Yeah.
get into that, Sir Kenas, go ahead.
yeah, I think one thing that's important for the audience is Pakistan doesn't have to intend to use nuclear weapons against Israel. The problem comes because it's the same deterrence that stopped the Russians and the Soviets and the Americans from firing nuclear weapons at each other, kept us from doing a lot of stuff. It's what made the Cold War cold. Yeah, nobody wants to have nukes, but Pakistan has nuclear weapons, and Pakistan has shown in the past a willingness to use nuclear weapons.
Yeah,
Both those things are like to use like academic English, you don't necessarily want to fuck with these people.
yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that
yeah.
right there, it's like, it's not that they'll fire the weapons, it's how people will behave knowing that Pakistan might.
Pakistan and India are not bound by the NPT. I'll repeat that again. They're not bound by these conventions, right? So again, both India and Pakistan, dear listeners who've just joined us for the show, both of them have in their doctrine the following maxim. If it comes down to it and we have to fire nukes via artillery systems, and they're like small artillery sized nukes of like 10 kiloton, 18 kiloton, 45 kiloton, or like even 2 kiloton, we'll fucking do it. Right? Pakistani generals and Indian generals regularly draw up plans where it's like, oh, here's a bunch of artillery shells. What's the artillery shell? It's a fucking nuke. Right? There's a bunch of mushroom clouds, and then the boys put on the gas masks and they walk forward slowly. They have that in their look. All I'm trying to tell you guys is this: those are the only two countries on the planet right now who have such a doctrine. Everybody else is like, oh well, the nuke is my strategic missile, and I fire it when the other guy fires me, and we have mad. No man, like India and Pakistan, they're just like, yeah, we're gonna fire the nukes, and the fighting will simply continue. That's their attitude to the whole thing.
No, they're built different. There's no doubt. Forgive me, I'm driving to the store right
No
now,
worries, no worries.
but yeah,
No worries,
I would add just a metaphor that I thought up in like sort of prelude to our episode about Pakistan, Saudi. You remember when you like this is the best way I can describe it for people so that you can sort of get your head around the implications of this treaty and what it's going to do to the sort of security paradigm and the international relations in the region. So you remember let's say it's like junior year of high school and you're going to a tech high school focused on like science and technology, and let's say you have a year-long project in the most important class, math or science or whatever it is, and it's a group project. And so everyone, in August, they're like, oh, dude, we know this project's coming. We better prepare. Like, who are we going to team up with? And there's like one kid who is brilliant, and everyone remembers this. There's one kid who just like was a brainiac and just knew everything. And you're like, oh, dude, I definitely want to team up with that guy. He's cool with me. I think I can get on his team. And let's say there's maybe 20 people in the class, and it's like teams of 4 or something like that. And so, okay, right. So, and there's
I remember this. Yeah, I remember this.
This type of thing. Yeah, it's pretty common. And then there's, and I'm
excellent analogy, by the way. Excellent analogy. But go ahead.
Appreciate it. I put some thought into it. And so let's say there's 3 or 4 cool kids who they're like, oh yeah, dude, that kid definitely wants to be on my team. Like, it'll be smooth sailing. And they're all kind of thinking about this. And then the analogy is that when they show up to school on the first day, that kid had transferred, right? That kid is no longer going to the school. Okay. So, so now they're looking at each other and they're like, oh shit, I did not think that this was a possibility. What do we do now? What do we do now? What do we do now? Now they're looking around the room. They're like, oh, I guess we could team up with that guy and that guy, but they don't really like each other. And maybe if we team up with this guy, he's not that smart, but maybe he'll be my bitch, and kind of do most of the work. I don't know shit. And so they're scrambling right now. And the kicker is that if they don't get a 9, let's say they're in the worst dungeons of Siberia or something, right? If they don't, 90% of the class does not pass this year-long test, there will be a school shooting at the end, right? That will be something very tragic and horrific. So that's the best way I can describe how the 20 or so, Middle East, West Asia regional powers are looking at this situation. And they know if they don't come together and figure something out, there will be a school shooting. And the school shooting will be done by, guess whom? Israel. And the brainy talking about is the U.S. And I mean, take your pick. It could be China, it could be whatever, but yeah. Yeah, that's my analogy. I mean, it's chaotic. It's chaos now. It's people looking around the room. What do we do?
And whatever happens in West Asia, Middle East, the sandbox doesn't just stay there. Because again, global oil and global natural gas, this is where it transits through, bros. Right? So, enough, when is the evil, when is the mass inflation gonna happen? Well, bro, right now, the low oil prices are keeping it at bay, right? You're looking at mini stagflation. You want to see the real deal? You want to see max stagflation, max power stagflation? Wait till you see what happens when war breaks out in the Middle East. So, there you go.
Yeah, I remember I told my one of my boomer friends, I was like, oh, I bet you dollars to donuts we'll see like $7 gasoline in the United States by the end of September or something like that. This was back in early June. And then you had the dust up because I knew that the dust up with Iran was coming.
Yeah,
And I also
that's right.
predicted the dust up with Iran. I was like, this is going to happen for sure, and they might close the Straits of Hormuz. It hasn't happened, right? It's still $3 a gallon, but guess what? The dust ups with Iran are coming back, and they're going to be more and more escalatory, and they're going to involve more
But
and more pain.
brother Naji, nothing's gonna happen, man. Like Iran's gonna fire 100 missiles and they're all gonna miss. They're all gonna
Right.
miss because we are the fucking West, right? The fucking sand niggers and their missiles, man. That's like brown people weapons, man. That's brown people weapons. None of the missiles are gonna hit anything. Israel will be fine. Greater Israel in 5 years. This is, by the way, what the fucking dissident right, new right, like at least a contingent of them, they're just like, yeah, man, yeah, it's gonna happen. It's the same bullshit. It's the same bullshit I hear from them and from all these other guys. They're like, yeah, America's gonna get the tariff money and pay off the debt. It's the same, like, you can't even call this delusion anymore, man. It's just fucking sad and pathetic. It's like you're dying, you got leukemia and blood cancer, and you're trying to justify to yourself how you're gonna survive. You're not gonna survive, man. You're not gonna fucking survive.
Yeah. No, I mean it's almost it's almost crazier than what you just described because I remember telling my boomer friend, hey, and this is a guy who has a history degree and he's a relatively smart fella, like he follows the news and this and that. I was like, dude, the U.S. is about to bomb Iran, right? We're about to, and this was like 6 days before the strikes happened because I was just, with my
Yeah.
grade of autism, I'm just involved with autistic things, and I was reading the tea leaves, and I was like, I mean, Israel for sure is going to attack Iran, and I believe the U.S. is also going to follow up in some manner. And he was like, oh yeah, oh okay, nothing ever happens, right? And then 6 days later, boom, it happens. And then he's like, and then I was like, well, told you so, a little more respectfully than that. But I was like, it's interesting that happened, right? And he was like, oh, what do you mean it's interesting? Obviously, the U.S. hates Iran. Why is it, it's not crazy that they would bomb Iran. And I was like, dude, are you
Yeah.
like, how I can't, like, the level of cope is,
He's like he's like Sir Malcolm's lovely analogy. The Game Boy cartridge, Nintendo Game Boy cartridge that spasms and it's about to load up the game screen and then it spasms, man. Like that's what unfortunately, that's what the average American has become, man. Like, and that's why, like I said, like when Israel is getting hit by the Iranian missiles and all those fucking Jews are dying or whatever the fuck, like they'll come up with some other excuse. They'll be like, any second now the nukes are gonna fly and this shit and that shit and America's gonna win and whatever. Like they're gonna keep on making excuses. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right? They're gonna keep on making excuses and the same shit, and it's just like. It's like a dying old man with dementia and Parkinson's and all these other things, and he's still like talking to you about how right this moment he's storming the beaches of Normandy, right? It has no meaning whatsoever. Empirically, it's false. Like physically, it's false, etc., etc., etc. Right? And that's what it is, man. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So I'm just seeing what fucking Trump's been up to.
He's going to bail out Argentina for, I saw 30 billion was on the table. I think Besant said that. So, yeah, that's another. I mean, and by bailout, I mean kick the can down the road for 3 months or something.
For like Argentina?
I saw that there was some various swaps and various bonds and direct cash
Argentina is down to like its last $30 billion in like swaps or whatever, man. They're not gonna make it. They're not.
Yeah, no, I know they're not going to make it. I just saw that the U.S. might attempt to bail them out.
With
Which
what
is
money,
fucking
man?
crazy. Yeah, I know. That's the crazy part. Is like, well, you're just
Where
gonna.
the fuck is your money, bro? Where the
Yeah,
fuck is your money?
so
Yeah,
that's
so.
crazy.
Oh dear, oh dear. What will we do? What will we do? Leader of Iran? No, we already saw that. Let's see what Sir Malcolm is up to. Let's see what Sir Malcolm is up to. Sometimes I check him out. All right. The White House, 5 hours ago. Quote, he's a brave man and he's putting up one hell of a fight, unquote. President of the United States with President Volodymyr Zelensky. Sir Kenneth, would you like to say anything to that?
President of the United States with Vladimir Zelensky. It's like the idiotic and the irrelevant. It's a conference of.
Oh, man. And I think the only thing Sir Malcolm responded with was like Tucker Carlson laughing face emoji 3 times. All right. And then, yeah, this image. He trusted Donald Trump, serves him right, fell for it again award. MAGA gets stabbed in the back, and Trump just runs off with the money. What do you guys think? I read that essay by Mary Harrington. She's one of these contributing editors to Unheard. I don't agree with her on everything, but like occasionally she says some interesting things. One of the points she made was that the modern right wing, new right, dissident right, whatever the fuck they call themselves, right? They are actually just a bunch of crypto scammers. That's her theory right now. Her theory is that they just have either this direct relationship, right? Where like they themselves are the crypto scammers trying to sell a meme coin or a token, or like they have a business relationship with like someone who's like a fucking crypto scammer. What do you gents think about that theory?
I'm
I mean,
about to go into the store,
there.
so yeah, Kanaz, please go ahead.
No worries, bro. No worries.
I mean,
No worries.
I don't know. There are a lot of crypto scammers in every community. I mean, pretty much. What was the name of the community? I'm sorry, I am blanking. It's getting late here.
Oh, it's getting late here. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna quickly hang on a second. Where the fuck is it? Sorry. I saved this essay just to Mary Harrington. Yeah, there she is. Is the radical right a crypto scam? Question mark. I'll send the essay to you, Sir Kenneth. I guess you got stuff to do. But like,
Yeah, okay, the radical right. What is she calling the radical right? I mean, radical right is you're doing shit like Antifa, you're
yeah,
protesting
like Tommy
outside of buildings,
Robinson.
you're
Yeah,
blowing shit up.
exactly.
Okay, those guys are grifters. I mean, she's saying, these people are grifters. Well, no shit, Sherlock. They've been grifters all along. I mean, if they're grifting on crypto, why not? I mean, crypto is a place where grifters go to either get rich or die.
Yeah. I'll send you the essay. And honestly, yeah, I mean, she makes some interesting points. One of the points she makes is that, yeah, the subtitle of the essay is boundaries between technology and politics are collapsing, right? But basically, like the grifters like Tommy Robinson, the only reason they get financed is because they sell memes and tokens and crypto, right? And so that's kind of how they do their thing. Yeah, Tommy Robinson's Unite the Kingdom rally was sponsored by cryptocurrencies. Yeah, so.
Yeah, no, cryptocurrency is really good for laundering money. Cryptocurrency is really good for doing rug pulls, pump and dumps, all kinds of shit. You know, that's the fact that they're involved with the radical right. Crypto is the libertarian's dream. You know, we're going to have a money system that isn't burdened by all these silly rules and regulations.
Yeah.
They're now discovering what every libertarian discovers. Why those laws and regulations exist.
Oh yeah. So that's how it is, man. That's how it is.
Yeah.
Who is this?
There's something to be said also about the other source of funding that they have is just Zionist billionaires. So just want to throw that out there.
Zionist billionaires. I mean, you know, like good goy, good cattle, eating the pellets, doing their thing, man. Yeah.
Can't live with them, can live without them, as well.
Yes, sir. I mean, it's getting late. I think Sir Kenaz has to rest up. I think Brother Nazi, you're at the store. You know what? This is going to be a part 1. We can do part 2 and we can keep going on about ranting and raving about why America's fucked. But Sir Kenaz, I think now is the time to put a cap on it. What do you think?
I think that's a good idea. See everybody next time on Twitter.
All right. See you guys. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Yeah.
Your soul is mine. Fatality.